Welcome to another session in this series. In this session, we start with question number 58. Previously, we ended on question number 57. So here we're going to start with question number 58. The question says, simplify this. So as usual, we find the LCM. The LCM is the same as s squared minus 9. And we know that s squared minus 9 here is a difference of two squares, okay? Difference of two squares. That will give us s squared minus 3 squared. And then that will give us x plus 3, x minus 3, right? Cool. So now instead of writing x squared minus 9, which is our LCM here, we write this instead. And we would know that it's the same as this, okay? We know it's the same as this. Okay, so let's write it. Our LCM is, x plus 3, x minus 3. Okay, so now let's go and then we deal with the numerator. So now x plus 3 goes and cancel x plus 3. We are left with x minus 3. So this x minus 3 will multiply 3. Okay, so that will give us 3x minus 9. The minus on top here we have x squared minus 9 cancels this. We know this is the same as s squared minus 9, right? So s squared minus 9 cancel x squared minus 9, 1. That 1 will multiply this, okay? And that means we still have the same thing, 2x minus 3. If we expand or we simplify, we get 3x minus 9 minus 2x plus 6 all over x plus 3 x minus 3. Okay, so what do we have? We have x minus 3 all over x plus 3 x minus 3. Okay, so now when we look what is common, we can easily cancel x minus 3 and x minus 3, and our final answer will be 1 over x plus 3. Okay, so that is our answer, 1 over x plus 3. Okay, which is C. All right, let's move on to question number 59. The question says simplify this minus this. Okay, so now before we go on trying to expand and multiply everything, and let's not do that. Let's look at it with an eagle eye. Now we can see that this is the same as this, and then y and y. That means this is what, and this is negative and positive. That means this is a difference of two squares. Okay, this is a difference of two squares because we have the same terms with addition and subtraction. So this is a difference of two squares. So let's work it like that. So we're going to have 3x squared minus y squared. Okay, so we are done with this first part. Now let's move on to the second part. Let's put our minus. Now this is also a difference of two squares, right? Because you have the same terms, 3x 2y with minus and then positive. So that's a difference of two squares. Okay, so we have, let's put a big bracket. Let's put a big bracket for them. Then we would have 3x squared minus 2y squared. Okay, cool. So now let's simplify. This will give us 9x squared minus y squared minus square bracket open 9x squared minus 4y squared. Let's simplify further. We have x squared minus y squared minus x squared. What we're doing now is we're taking out this bracket, okay? And this negative is going to affect everything here, okay? So plus 4y squared. this 9x squared, 9x, okay, there's a minus over here. Okay, so this 9x cancels this negative 9x. What are we left with? We are left with 3y squared, and that is our answer, which is D. Cool. Let's move on to question number 60. The question says factorize the expression 9x squared t squared minus 1. Okay, so let's write it down. 9x squared t squared minus 1, and we know that 1 can be written as what? 1 squared. So that means we can rewrite this as 9x squared t squared minus 1 squared. And then 9 over here, we can also write 9 as 3 squared. Okay, so that means we can rewrite this as 3 squared x squared t squared minus 1 squared. Okay, so now everything is squared over here. Okay, so now these squares, we can take them out of the bracket and put them outside the bracket, and then it will affect all 3 times. Okay, so we have 3xt, then the bracket, then a square, minus 1 square. So now you can see that it's clearly a difference of 2 squares. This 1 square and this another square. Okay, and we know how to handle the difference of 2 squares, right? Subtraction, multiplying, addition. Okay, 3xt plus 1. Okay, do you have it there? Do we have it there? Yes, we have it there. That is C. So that is our answer. Alright, let's move on to question number 61. The question says expand this. Okay, the question says expand this. So we can either, there are 2 ways to do this. We can just simply multiply and then multiply and multiply and multiply. Okay, or we can look at this with a different kind of eye. We can see that this is a difference of 2 squares because we have the same terms, x and square root of 2, and then here we have negative and positive. So this is what? A difference of 2 squares. Okay, so let's do that. That will give us x squared minus square root of 2 squared. Okay, so the square roots will cancel the square, and we'll be left with what? S squared minus 2, and that is our answer, which is D. D is the answer. Okay, let's move on to question number 62. It says if this is a factor of this, if x minus a is a factor of this whole expression, find the other factor. So what we can simply do is try to factorize this on its own, then we compare. Okay, so let's write that down. We have bx minus ax plus x squared minus ab. Okay, so now let's try to group some terms and try to see if we can factor out some stuff. Okay, so here we have xx, we can work with that and factor x out. Okay, and we have b minus a, but then over here we would get stuck because there is nothing what common between this and this. So what you can do is we group like terms in terms of b and a. Okay, are we together? Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. So we can rewrite this. We have bx minus ab, then we have x squared minus ax. Now you can see we have b here, we have b here, so we can factor out what? B. And here we have x, so we can factor out x. Okay, cool. So that's what I'm talking about. Let's put them in brackets. The brackets can easily go because this is an addition sign. Okay, it doesn't affect this. Okay, cool. So now at the first one, what's common? We have b here, so b can be factorized. Okay, so we have b, then we're left with x minus a. Then on the other end, we can factor what is common? X is common, so we can factor x out. So let's factor x out. Then we're left with what? X minus a. Cool. Now this is one term and this is another term. What is common between them? What is common is what? X minus a, x minus a. So we can factor that out, okay? So we have x minus a factored out. If we factor x minus a out, we are left with what? B. So let's put that in the bracket, b. And if we factor x minus a out from here, we are left with what? X. So x. So this is what we get after factorizing the whole expression, okay? Cool. Now let's look at this and see what is the answer from the question. The question says, if x minus a is one of the factors, do we confirm that x minus a is one of the factors? Yes, this is it. Okay, let's draw a line so you can see it. Okay, that is it. Okay, now the other factor is what? You can now see it, b plus x. Okay, or x plus b is the same thing. B plus x or x plus b is the same thing. Okay, which is a. Cool. I think we should stop here for now. In the next session, move on to question number 63. See you again next time. Bye.